My name's Emily McNiff, and I recently read an article called Leaning In, A Student's Guide to Engaging Constructively with Social Justice Content. The article talked about how difficult it can be for students, as well as any authority, to learn, talk, and engage in social justice content discussions. The article suggested that there could be some students who have resistance when it comes to learning about social justice issues. This could be because they have a personal connection or even they've never talked about it, so it can be very awkward. Many students and teachers have a clear opinion on social justice content. However, some have little to no knowledge on the actual issue, which then doesn't necessarily make their opinion invalid, but it doesn't have that knowledge to back it up. It can be difficult to learn new ways of looking at social justice issues. The article brought up several ways to help solve or reduce the complication of learning social justice content. For example, there were suggestions on how to read about social justice, how to talk about social justice, and how to be open to these new ideas. And it's important to be open to new ideas to learn more about it. The more open you are, the more you are able to learn and actually understand these ideas. As a future teacher, I will find it difficult to shield my opinion away from my students. I believe it is important to keep my bias to an absolute minimum. The topic of social justice can be difficult for students to talk about. Because of this, I think it is important to have an open platform for students to share their views as well as their ideas on the subject. If you do not have this open platform, your students will be less likely to be open to talking about it. However, I am aware that there may be many students' resistance to topics that are brought up. Like I said earlier, it could be because of a possible personal experience, and then it could be very difficult for a student to talk about. By keeping my personal views away from the student, it gives the student the opportunity to create and think about their own opinions on the subject. The students can then come up with solutions and guidelines pertaining to social justice content. The article brought up a point that I found very interesting. It's okay to not agree with certain concepts pertaining to social justice. In fact, the more you disagree, the more you will learn. And when you disagree, it's important to have questions set up to ask. These questions need to be in depth and they need to have lots of different answers to them. By simply asking a yes or no question, you will not learn anything. And that was my thoughts on A Student's Guide to Engaging Constructively with Social Justice Content.